Well, good morning. Um, Let me make sure that I am in my comments. I am in my comments, seeing that I'm live. This is very impromptu, but um, I wanted to continue the conversation. I am by myself today. Um, and primarily, I just wanted to hurry up and get through that. Not hurry up because I don't think we can hurry up and get through, you know, talking about our the things we're interested in and making light of it or nothing like that. It's not that. It's been a while since I had visited this, and I wanted to uh, finish up this part of the secret teachings of all ages by Manly P. Hall, the second part of this, and hopefully it won't take as long. But it is about Hermes Trismegistus. And we covered quite a bit in the last episode, but I did keep it to, just a little bit over an hour. And we had a lot that we were discussing that was kind of a little bit off topic. So we didn't get back to the book. And that's what this episode is about. The life of Hermes Trismegistus, otherwise known as Thoth. This is primarily what this episode is about, is just covering what Manly P. Hall talks about in the secret teachings of all ages. So before I really dig back into what's left in this chapter, I'd like to give a little disclaimer. I wrote this back after the last episode. So it says, I hope you listen without prejudice and without so much intent to respond, but as intent to hear. For the terms that may be used in this particular episode in this podcast are very outdated. But if you understand that person that we are referring to believed in the terminology of his time, as did many ancients that came before us, our ancestors. We were using different language. So it's the intentions behind the words that I think are important. And I think if we're just imparting knowledge, then that's all it is, and it's just somebody's perspective, somebody's point of view. So as to honor those who came before us, I would ask that you keep your modern prejudices to yourself and consider the message. So I'm not bashing anyone for talking about the language in that time, because I do understand that it is different, but we know that we are progressive and we know that we have come to a better place. So if we just consider that the terminology is just that, it's from that time, it's what they were working with. History has already been erased so many times. It is my belief that we are doomed to repeat it if we are ignorant of it. So we can't change the past, but we can learn from it. So just to reiterate, the Secret Teachings of All Ages was written and published back in 1925, I believe. I don't think it might have been between 1925, 1928, but so a lot of things that Mr. Manly P. Hall does talk about are things that probably we do know a little bit more about those things now. But I am such a big fan of Mr. Hall that I just wanted to share the feeling, when I was reading this, and I've already read it, but when I was reading it, I was just so blown away by many aspects. And one of them is that, here's this young man, 25, he wrote all this. And if you've ever looked at the book, it's huge. I mean, it's just huge. The physical copy is huge. But I did find a copy on CIA.gov. So there's a lot of stuff you can find on there, actually. But I found a copy of it. And when I first listened to it, because I didn't read it physically, I didn't look at it and read it, I listened to it on Audible. For myself, listening is easier for me to retain than if I am just looking at something. What does that say about me? I don't know. Go ahead. Tell me in the comments. What does that say about me? Okay, so where we left off, we were just at the beginning of Poimandres, and I'm not sure if I said that right, but the vision of Hermes. So let's get into this just a little bit then. So it says, the divine Pymander of Hermes Mercurius Trismegistus is one of the earliest of the Hermetic writings now extant. While probably not in its original form, having been remodeled during the first centuries of the Christian era and incorrectly translated since, this work undoubtedly contains many of the original concepts of the Hermetic cultus. The divine Pymander consists of 17 fragmentary writings gathered together and put forth as one work. The second book of the divine Pymander, called Poimandres, or the Vision, is believed to describe the method by which the divine wisdom was first revealed to Hermes. It was after Hermes had received this revelation that he began his ministry, teaching to all who would listen the secrets of the invisible universe as they had been unfolded to him. The Vision is the most famous of all the Hermetic fragments and contains an exposition of Hermetic cosmogony and the secret sciences of the Egyptians regarding the culture and unfoldment of the human soul. For some time, it was erroneously called the Genesis of Enoch. Interesting. But that mistake has now been rectified. At hand, while preparing the following interpretation of the symbolic philosophy concealed within the Vision of Hermes, the present author has had these reference works. The divine Pymander of Hermes Mercurius Trismegistus, which was London, 1650, translated out of the Arabic and Greek by Dr. Everard. So he's just listing his references here. Hi, Tony. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Yeah, there's I'm going to keep going here, but I think most of this paragraph is talking about his references. But he says, to the material contained in the above volumes, he has added commentaries based upon the esoteric philosophy of the ancient Egyptians. Yes, completely live. Together with amplifications derived partly from the Hermetic fragments and partly from the secret arcanum of the Hermetic sciences. For the sake of clarity, the narrative form has been chosen in preference to the original dialogic style, and obsolete words have given place to those in current use. Now, I'm going to be absolutely honest. I've not read about the Poimandres. So, even except for here, so it's like this book, when I first put my eyes on it, I was like, oh my goodness, there's so many paths that I need, that I'm telling myself this, no, now there's so many paths that I need to go down, so many more doors that were open. And what's wonderful about it is this book is just a little taste of each topic, so believe me when I tell you, I'm going to be checking this out. And I hope that, you do too. I hope that it's something that you find interesting and you check it out, because I definitely feel like since 1925, there's a whole lot more information out there, the secret teachings of all ages. Yes, you said that you did, but it was so meticulous. And it's like, it's not anything that I could read. I had to listen to it. And, it took me a long time to listen to it. And yeah, and I couldn't read it. When you had commented on the other live that I did, the first part of this, I was in agreement because I couldn't there was no way. I looked at it and I thought, that's a big book. And, it really wasn't until I started to dig in that I thought, oh my gosh, there's a lot of information here, but it's all stuff I'm interested in. So it's like, and especially when the carrot's dangled in front of your face, you're like, yeah, this is just one man's point of view and a collection of data that he found or he thought that was extremely important to share. And then if you know a little bit about Manly P. Hall, well, then what, 30 years later, maybe not quite that, he was nabbed up by the Masons. And I thought, it's pretty interesting. And I think the Masons are collectors. I think that they are collectors of, what they think is going to make them their best entity. So, and Manly P. Hall definitely, I think, was a gem. Okay, so now back to actually talking about Hermes. He says, Hermes, while wandering in a rocky and desolate place, gave himself over to meditation and prayer. Following the secret instructions of the temple, he gradually freed his higher consciousness from the bondage of his bodily senses, and thus released his divine nature, revealed to him the mysteries of the transcendental spheres. He beheld a figure, terrible and awe-inspiring. It was the great dragon, with wings stretching across the sky and light streaming in all directions from its body. The great dragon called Hermes by name and asked him why he thus meditated upon the world mystery. Terrified by the spectacle, Hermes prostrated himself before the dragon, beseeching it to reveal its identity. The great creature answered that it was Poimandres, the mind of the universe, the creative intelligence, and the absolute emperor of all. Hermes then besought Poimandres to disclose the nature of the universe and the constitution of the gods. The dragon acquiesced, bidding Trismegistus hold its image in his mind. Yeah, it's heavy as a paperback as well. Yeah, no freaking doubt, man. I don't have the physical copy for myself, but I have a friend that does, and he actually read it all. and it's available to me, but I did prefer the Audible version. Immediately, the form of Poimandres changed. Where it had stood, there was a glorious and pulsating radiance. This light was the spiritual nature of the great dragon itself. Hermes was raised into the midst of this divine effulgence, and the universe of material things faded from his consciousness. Presently, a great darkness descended and, expanding, swallowed up the light. Everything was troubled. About Hermes swirled a mysterious watery substance which gave forth a smoke-like vapor. The air was filled with inarticulate moanings and sighings which seemed to come from the light, swallowed up in the darkness. His mind told Hermes the light was from the spiritual universe, and that the swirling darkness which had engulfed him or engulfed it was represented material substance. Okay. Whoa. All right. Majestic Eagle, thank you. Yes, I'm on page 58. Yeah, it's well, it says page 39, but the CIA.gov is, I think, a lot different. And again, I did listen to it on Audible, which is a little bit the pages and chapters are off a little bit. I don't know if you've ever listened to Audible, but yeah, it's in the very, very beginning of the book. I'm only in what is this, chapter 2, really, I think. But yeah, this is awesome. I had just had a download I'm not talking about the book right now, but I had a download, and Antoinette Tarot and Jewelry knows about this. It was about the I am. So it's really interesting. It's like the things that we are in the midst of considering when it comes to our consciousness and the deep knowledge that comes from being in a state of gnosis comes to us when we're ready. And it's, Tony, what you're saying, yeah, I planned to read it until I looked into the dense pages, promptly realizing I'm not ready yet. I think life is like that, and sometimes even when our higher self says, oh, you're ready, we might fight it. And that's why, it's going to come around again. It's like life is this great school, that we sign up for. And, depending on your birth chart or what you believe in, to kind of like, psychoanalyze yourself and find it when you're on the road to knowing yourself, you sign up for these classes to teach you about yourself and who you are and where you are fitting into the grand scheme of things. You sign up for these classes, and I created a video called yeah, right. And yeah, it's like Thoth is definitely the whole idea of Thoth. I don't worship Thoth, but it's like the idea and what he represents, or what it represents, is where I'm going in my life. It's all about this knowledge and applying it, using it, upgrading. And the I am, and exactly is like kind of what he is talking about here in this book, is I feel it's appropriate because I'm in the I am class right now. It's just it's everything is beautifully laid out before us. Sometimes we just don't know it until we do, when we're like, yes. And the dreams make sense, and the people you talk to, the people that come into your life, it all just makes sense. And if it doesn't, well, then that means you got something to look into. Oh, okay. So moving on. Then out of the imprisoned light, a mysterious and holy word came forth and took its stand upon the smoking waters. The word, or this word, the voice of the light, rose out of the darkness as a great pillar, and the fire and the air followed after it. But the earth and the water remained unmoved below. Thus the waters of light were divided from the waters of darkness, and from the waters of light were formed the worlds above, and from the waters of darkness were formed the worlds below. Doesn't it feel like we read this somewhere before? Sorry, a little ad lib there. The earth and the water next mingled, becoming inseparable, and the spiritual word, which is called reason, moved upon their surface, causing endless turmoil. I know I'm ad-libbing, but someone had commented before, and I took it in a negative manner, that not to conflate Thoth with all these other ideologies. How can you not? How can you not? Go ahead, leave that in the comments. How can you not? It's like, I feel like every theologist or somebody that is, a spiritual person, a guru, whatever it is, whoever you are seeking knowledge, sees things through your eyes, and no one else's. So, and everything that you perceive is because of the path that you've walked, and no one else has walked that path but you. So everything that you see is going to be from your own perception. And I feel like through time, through all these different pantheons, we're all telling the same story. And the Thoth archetype comes in many forms. And I'm hearing this and I think, I've heard this before. Where did I hear this? Yeah, in a biblical sense, we've all heard this. So it's just affirmation that these stories have been told many times by many different people from different points of view, because as the student, you're all given the same lesson. But how you perceive it and how you take it is completely how you perceive it and how you take it. Because the teacher just wants the answer, right? The teacher just wants to know that you get it before you move on to the next lesson. So, and we are the teacher, we are the student. It's who are you in this moment? I don't know. I just had to put that out there. My mind is racing when I hear these, and I think, these words are coming in many different forms from many different spiritual beliefs. One reason why I call myself omnis, because I believe that the stories about spirituality and how we came to be here are told, are the same stories. It's just they're told differently. Okay, so then backtracking. Then again was heard the voice of Poimandres, but his form was not revealed. I, thy God, am the light, and the mind, which were before substance, was divided from spirit, and darkness from light. And the word which appeared as a pillar of flame out of the darkness is the Son of God, born of the mystery of the mind. The name of that word is reason. Reason is the offspring of thought, and reason shall divide the light from the darkness and establish truth in the midst of the waters. Understand, O Hermes, and meditate deeply upon the mystery. That which in you sees and hears is not of the earth, but is the word of God incarnate. So it is said that divine light dwells in the midst of mortal darkness, and ignorance cannot divide them. The union of the word and the mind produces that which is called life. As the darkness without you is divided against itself, so the darkness within you is likewise divided. The light and the fire which rise are the divine man, ascending in the path of the word, and that which fails to ascend is the mortal man, which may not partake of immortality. Learn deeply of the mind and its mystery, for therein lies the secret of immortality. Okay. Yes, thought was there before you incarnated. Thought is going to be there when you are in the in-between, before you incarnate again. No matter what you believe, the thought was there, which to me, my mind says, well, okay, then that is the alpha and the omega. It's the consciousness. It's the super consciousness. It's it's who we are without this body, but yet we are still that which dwells within this body. But knowing who that thought is, and we are just this experience, this particular chosen experience to upgrade that thought, the beginning and the end and all that is or ever was, is the consciousness. And I can hear, like what I know about Jesus, I can hear that in these words. Oh my goodness. Guess what, guys? We're going to end it. And we are going to, I'm going to come back to this maybe sometime this weekend. Yeah, that's quite a note. I am getting a phone call. It's a bit of an important one, so he's going to wait a minute, but I didn't want to just go, oh, okay, we're done. But thank you, Tony, and thank you, Majestic Eagle, for being here and listening. Um, let me know what you think about the I am, if you have any thoughts on it, and if this reminds you of that, or who God is, or maybe make a video. I want to see it. Tag me in it. Let me know what you think. I'm in the I am class right now, so this I could go on, but I got to get this phone call. So I just want to say thank you. How long was this? 25 minutes. It's not bad. Not bad. I kind of like keep it a little short so people don't fall off and be like, yeah, okay, I've had enough. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Be looking, because I don't I probably won't put anything out saying I'm going to go live. So just check it out and see if you see what's going on. Oh, yep, he's pretty adamant. And thank you, and I will see you in the next one, or I'll see you in the next one.